Most founders think paying for a business expense with a personal card is just a formality, but that's the invisible trigger. It quietly pierces your corporate veil. You won't feel it today, but when scrutiny hits, your personal house becomes reachable. This is Business Unpacked. Let's survive.
All right, let's kick things off with something I bet pretty much every founder has done, especially in the early days. You're out, maybe the company card isn't on you, so you just grab a business lunch with your personal card. It just feels easier, a simple shortcut. I mean, it's all my money anyway, right? What's the real damage?
The damage is huge. And this is the point Vitaly makes that you just can't ignore. That one harmless swipe of your personal card, it legally blows up the wall between you and your company. You're effectively signaling to the entire legal system that you don't really see your company as a separate thing. So why should they? Yeah, there's a scary legal term for this, piercing the corporate veil. And it's just as bad as it sounds. That legal shield, the whole reason you set up an LLC in the first place, poof, it's gone. This isn't some small accounting error you can just fix later. For a court or an investor, this is proof. Proof that your company is basically a hobby and that you, personally, are on the hook for every single one of its debts. So the only way out is just brutal discipline. The takeaways here are super clear and non-negotiable. First, on the selling side, never, ever, ever accept a client payment into your personal account. Second, on the buying side, stop using your own money for business stuff unless you are filing a formal expense report that very same day. And maybe the biggest mental shift of all, treat the company bank account like it belongs to a total stranger. You wouldn't just dip into their wallet, would you? No, you'd follow the rules. Okay, so that kind of discipline needs real systems, not just trying really hard. We were asked to give a shout out to the product LF Boss. That's Business Operations Systems Standard. And honestly, looking at the specs, it makes sense. Their whole idea is captured right here. Most software just rents you a seat. It's temporary. LF Boss is all about helping you build an actual operational machine, a real asset that your company owns forever.
And their model is just different. It's one clear flow. Stripe to QuickBooks to ELF BOS. The whole point is to kill chaos. There are no monthly fees, no lockouts. You make money first, then pay from profit. And here's the wild part. You can actually get paid. Use their tools and you automatically get 50% of the revenue shared back to you. You can turn your operations into an income stream. If you want to stop relying on random chats and start building an asset, go to the link in the description.
All right, moving on to the next hidden risk. This one is all about the classic handshake deal. A lot of us think a verbal agreement is just a sign of good faith, of trust. You're on a call, you and the client are vibing, you agree to a new change, it feels fast, it feels efficient. What's the problem? The problem is you're building on the shakiest foundation possible, human memory. Vitaly's take on this is incredibly blunt. If your deals rely on memory, you don't own a business. Think about it. What you remember saying and what they remember hearing can be worlds apart, especially 6 months down a line when there's an issue. This needs to be your mantra. No email, no obligation. That trust you have with your client is great, but it's not a contract. It means nothing in a dispute. If you agree to change the scope, the timeline, or the price on a call, and there's no written record, it legally never happened. It's just air. And this slide just nails the difference between being a freelancer and building a real business. A craft, sure, that can rely on your personality. But a business has to rest on a transferable registry of decisions, on hard proof that exists whether you're in the room or not. The takeaways are so simple, but you have to be relentless about them. 1. Every time you agree to something verbally, you immediately send an email recapping it. Immediately. 2. That email must ask for and get a direct written confirmation. A simple "yep, looks good" is all it takes to turn a flimsy memory into a solid piece of evidence. Okay, this last topic is the most complex, and it's a place where the rules have seriously changed under our feet. Most of us assume that if a client pays you a huge sum and you have the contract and the invoice, you're golden. You got your proof. Well, that's not enough anymore. Not even close. Right. Banks and regulators now draw this razor-sharp line between source of funds and source of wealth. Your invoice? That just shows the source of these specific funds. What they now demand to see is the source of your wealth. The entire provable, legitimate backstory of how that money came to exist in the first place. They don't just care about this payment. They want to audit the money's entire life story. This means you have to be able to show a completely unbroken chain of events.
Where did this capital originally come from? How did you create value with it? Can you document every single transfer along the way? Any gap in that story, any missing link, and they automatically assume risk. And the consequence is brutal. Your accounts get frozen, maybe for good. So the burden of proof is now 100% on you. You need to be able to tell the complete biography of your money with receipts for every chapter. The only real takeaway is to get ahead of it. Start building what Vitaly calls a proof of funds file, basically a detailed dossier that proves the clean economic history of your capital.
So when you tie all this together, the picture becomes pretty clear. All that stuff we hate doing, the stuff that feels like boring overhead, keeping separate accounts, writing tedious follow-up emails, documenting every little thing, that's not overhead. It's the firewall. It's the only thing protecting you and your business. So as we wrap up, really think about your own day-to-day operations. Ask yourself, which harmless habit in my business poses the biggest hidden threat? To go deeper on all of this, you can read the original posts from Vitaly. The link is in the description.